Hey, you're listening to Don't Mix In. I'm Dr. Vivian Rodriguez, an educational psychologist, blogger, educator, and coach who loves to talk about style, life, creating, and mental health. Okay, so I started this podcast to create a space to talk about style and substance, to talk about the complexities of being a woman who's authentic and thriving. All right, let's get into it. All right, this episode we're going to be talking about Amazon curve swimsuits you need to match every activity. All right, the first thing is we know that finding a bathing suit, especially if you have curves, can be super annoying. So then you're going to add all of these activities that take place over the summer, and that's even more frustrating. Trying to find the right kind of suit for the situation, having to think about coverage, having to think about where you're going and kind of how much you're going to be moving. So I got a bunch of different bathing suits you can choose from, and all of these I got them in an XL. The factors to consider when we're talking about getting a swimsuit. So a few things you want to think about when you're trying to score the right swimsuit for a particular situation. So you like Amazon, but you don't know what styles to get? Go ahead and check out my Amazon Live. I'm an A-list creator, which means I do a lot of lives and people like them. So go ahead and head over to the show notes for this episode to go and join the live. And don't forget to follow me on Amazon. And then keep in mind, as an Amazon associate, I do earn from qualified purchases, and all opinions are my own. And I'll see you guys around. Hey, I know you guys do not have a ton of time to just be scrolling through social media. You got better things to do, right? So that's why I revamped and relaunched my Fave Finds newsletter. And what I did is, it's kind of a in case you missed it. So I scour through the internet to find some styles for midsize and curves. And I also add just some different podcast episodes or books that I'm into lately, just some good stuff for your email inbox. So go ahead and head over to the show notes for this episode to sign up for my Fave Finds. And don't worry, I'm not going to spam your email inbox. It'll be some good stuff. First up is a family event. So you want a classic one-piece swimsuit for this. So you want to kind of focus on making sure there's coverage and support. So for instance, back to that water park example, I wore a black one-piece that I knew I could move in. I had sufficient coverage. And I didn't have to worry about the bathing suit. I was more focused on the activities of the day. You're going to go somewhere where you're going to have a little bit more fun, and you want to maybe go with a little less coverage. So maybe going somewhere with your girlfriends, or, doing something just a little more, kind of more adult-ish. So you want to go with a high-waisted two-piece bikini. So what you want to do is, I think with bikinis, kind of get away from the idea that you can't wear a two-piece if you have curves. The key is just making sure it's high-waisted and there's sufficient coverage on the bottom. I feel like that's what you want to focus on. After that is making sure that the top has sufficient support so that you can move around with ease. Next up, you want to turn it up with a plunge one-piece swimsuit. Okay, so again, I think you want to have fun with swimsuits. I think that there's ways to celebrate your curves with swimsuits, and you want to get away from the idea of the whatever, impossible or maybe just not realistic for me bikini body that people talk about. Just go with what you have now, So get a plunge one-piece swimsuit that's for curves that you can just turn it up. And I'm talking about, like, this would be like a weekend with the girlfriends or with your significant other, just celebrating life. And so you want to think about, too, with some of these swimsuits, they're a little more plunge. Think about the coverage and support and your comfort level. But I always think, like, when I'm about to wear a swimsuit that maybe is a little less coverage, that in like 20 years from now, future me would be like, yeah, why didn't you wear it? Right? Maybe 10 years from now, maybe 5 years, maybe a year from now. So always think about that. It's just have fun, enjoy the season. And don't be so focused on, oh, I need to look like a certain way to wear a certain swimsuit. It's more about functionality, comfort, and support is what you want to be focusing on for these swimsuits. A couple more tips with the swimsuits. What I did is, this is the first time that I really looked at different styles of swimsuits. I actually went with black for most of my swimsuits. Why? Because then with black, you can focus more on the style of the swimsuit and different features. So I just kind of went with that, and it was just simpler, easier. It's easier to find a cover up. So that would be my advice if you're just starting to wear a swimsuit again, or you've never worn a swimsuit. Go with black just because it's just easy. Either black or navy blue, I feel like, are really good colors to start and get comfortable with. And then after that, you can branch out. But if you're just starting out and you just want a really good swimsuit, I would go with black or navy blue, so that it's not like really busy. And also then it's just easy to just style it when you're outside of the pool or you have to like put a cover up on. In closing, there's a variety of curved bathing suits that are going to match every situation or occasion. Play around with these styles and, enjoy the summer moments. Again, think about future you saying like, why didn't you just wear the bathing suit when you could? And I think play around different styles. Think about your coverage and support, and then get some cover ups too that are going to be, fire as well to match your swimsuit. Like what you're hearing? Go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. You can also share the podcast on Instagram and tag me at Live by Viv. As far as my music, it's The Croft by Joachim Karud. And everything we talked about in this episode can be found in the show notes on livebyviv.com. Okay, and remember, don't mix in because you don't need to.